This video is about the single mom went to the campground, and a billionaire made her laugh. If this story touches your heart, please mention where you are watching from in the comments. Please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. Maya Thompson had always envisioned summertime as a season of laughter and leisure, but for the past few years, it had morphed into an endless cycle of responsibilities. As a single mother to her spirited 7-year-old son, Leo, every moment was a balancing act. The idea of camping had come from a fleeting conversation with Leo, who had been fascinated with the idea of roasting marshmallows and sleeping under the stars. Maya hesitated at first. The thought of wrangling a tent, dealing with bugs, and managing a curious child alone seemed overwhelming. Yet, the excitement in Leo's bright eyes melted her reservation. So here they were, standing at the entrance of Cedar Grove Campground, a sprawling oasis of tall pines and shimmering lakes. The sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden hue across the landscape. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the weight of her everyday worries lift for a moment. "Can we go see the lake first?" Leo asked, tugging on her hand with impatience. "Sure. Just hold on tight to my hand," she replied, ruffling his curly hair. As they made their way down the gravel path, Maya allowed herself to smile, envisioning this weekend as a chance to bond, to escape from her routine. They reached the lake, its surface glistening like diamonds scattered across a blue blanket. Leo scampered toward the water's edge, peering in with wide eyes. "Look, Mom! Fish!" he shouted, pointing eagerly. Maya chuckled, her heart warming at his enthusiasm. "I see them. They must think you're a fish too, with all that splashing." Just then, a voice boomed from behind them. "Watch out! You might scare all the fish away with that excitement." Maya turned, her gaze landing on a tall man with tousled dark hair and a confident stance, who was unloading gear from a sleek RV parked nearby. He had an air of sophistication about him, a sharp contrast to the rugged camping environment. "Sorry, didn't mean to scare your fish," Leo chimed back, beaming at the stranger. The man laughed, a rich sound that resonated with warmth. "It's not your fault. They're just shy. I'm Ethan, by the way," he introduced, stepping closer with a friendly smile. "Maya?" she replied, intrigued by the easy charm radiating from him. "And this is Leo. Nice to meet you both. You're braver than I am camping out here with just the two of you," he said, glancing at Maya with genuine admiration. "I brought the comforts of home with me." "Our home is a little chaotic," Maya replied, a hint of pride in her voice. "But I thought it would be fun to try something different." "Fun is the name of the game," Ethan said, his gaze lingering on her a moment longer than necessary. "You know, I have a portable grill and some extra supplies. If you'd like, I can whip up a couple of hot dogs for dinner. More fun together, right?" Maya hesitated, grappling with the instinct to guard her time with Leo and the undeniable allure of Ethan's offer. Was it a good idea to let a stranger into their evening plans? Yet there was a sincerity in his eyes that softened her reservations. "Sure, that sounds nice," she finally replied, as Leo hopped up and down in excitement. An hour later, they sat around a small fire, the crackling flames illuminating their faces as the sun dipped behind the trees. Ethan worked over the grill, the smoky scent of cooking meat mingling with the cool night air. "I can't believe you can make a fire without burning down the whole forest," Maya teased, watching him with amusement. Ethan grinned, flicking a glance her way. "I've had my fair share of mishaps, believe me. The first time I tried camping, I burned the beans and nearly scorched my eyebrows off." "Now that's a story," Maya said, her laughter filling the air. She felt an unexpected flutter in her chest at his playful nature, a welcome distraction from her daily routine. "Would you like to hear about the time I got lost looking for a bathroom in the woods?" Ethan leaned forward, a conspiratorial grin on his face. "Absolutely, I'm all ears," Maya replied, leaning closer, heart racing slightly as their eyes met. As he began his story, Maya found herself captivated not only by his words but by the way he animatedly gestured, the warmth in his voice holding her rapt attention. She couldn't help but admire his confidence and the ease with which he engaged Leo, who was hanging on every word, wide-eyed and giggling. But moments of joy are often accompanied by fleeting shadows. Maya felt an inner shift as she caught herself smiling too easily, something she hadn't done in a long time. The chemistry between her and Ethan was palpable, igniting a flicker of something she hadn't dared to think about for years: attraction. A breeze rustled nearby, pulling Maya from her thoughts. She cast a glance at Leo, who was blissfully roasting marshmallows, his face smeared with melted chocolate and joy. It was in moments like these that Maya felt a pang of guilt mixed with her budding feelings for Ethan. Was it right to entertain the idea of someone new when her focus should be on Leo? "Everything okay?" Ethan asked, noticing her sudden silence. "Yeah, just daydreaming, I guess," she replied, forcing a smile. He raised an eyebrow, clearly not convinced. "Daydreaming about the future? More like about marshmallow disasters," she quipped, trying to lighten the mood. He laughed, and the sound sent a warmth through her that she hadn't expected. "Well, I can assure you, there's no disaster here. Just sweet, gooey goodness." As the night wore on, the fire crackling and the stars beginning to twinkle overhead, Maya felt herself drawn deeper into their easy camaraderie. But along with her laughter came the nagging voice of caution. Ethan was charming, no doubt, but Maya was all too aware of the dangers of getting too close. Her past left scars she was still healing from, the weight of heartache settling in her chest. She couldn't afford to misstep, not when Leo's happiness rested on her shoulders. Ethan leaned back, catching the stars overhead. "You know, I have to admit, I didn't expect to enjoy my time here as much as I am. It's refreshing." "Really? You think we're that entertaining?" Maya teased, but her heart fluttered at the compliment. "Absolutely. You two are the highlight of my trip," he countered, his gaze steady on her. "And I don't say that lightly." Their eyes held for a moment, and Maya felt the air between them thrum with unspoken tension. It was a connection she hadn't anticipated, a spark of interest that tugged at her heart. Just as she opened her mouth to say something, Leo interjected, oblivious to the moment that had just passed. "Can we sleep outside tonight, please?" "Out here?" Ethan asked, his brow furrowing as he looked at Maya. "Yeah, I want to see the stars without a roof," Leo exclaimed, his enthusiasm infectious. Maya glanced at the sky, then back at Ethan. "What do you think? Is it safe?" "I think it's safe enough, as long as you don't mind the occasional raccoon," Ethan replied, a playful glint in his eyes. "I doubt Leo would mind a raccoon if it meant an adventure," she replied, the warmth of the moment enveloping her. As they settled in for the night, Maya allowed herself to bask in the joy of laughter, the warmth of the fire, and the faint possibility of something more. A future that felt brightened, if only for a fleeting weekend under the stars. But the shadows of doubt still whispered in her heart. Would this connection withstand the light of day, or was it just a momentary escape from reality? Only time would tell as they ventured deeper into this unexpected camping experience together. The cool night air wrapped around them as Maya and Ethan helped Leo set up their sleeping bags on the ground, surrounded by the faint sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves. The flickering fire cast playful shadows, and Leo's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Can I have the flashlight, please?" Leo asked, bouncing on his toes. His enthusiasm was infectious, a reminder of the innocence of childhood that Maya cherished but often took for granted. "Sure, buddy." Ethan handed Leo the flashlight, and the boy immediately pointed it at the starlit sky. "Look, I see a shooting star," he exclaimed, his voice a mixture of wonder and disbelief. "Make a wish," Maya urged, her heart swelling with warmth as she watched Leo's face light up with pure joy. Although she was exhausted from the day's adventures, moments like this made every sleepless night worth it. "Okay, I wished for 1,000,000 marshmallows," Leo shouted, his laughter ringing through the night. Ethan chuckled, leaning closer to Maya as he whispered, I think he's got the right idea. Who wouldn't want 1,000,000 marshmallows? Maya met his gaze, her heart fluttering at the intensity of his blue eyes. I'm afraid that might cause a sugar overload, she replied, teasing him back. Beneath the banter, a thread of connection wove between them, palpable and electric. As if sensing the tension, Leo interrupted. Can we tell ghost stories next? His eyes were wide, a mix of anticipation and mischief, and Maya couldn't help but smile at his enthusiasm. Ghost stories, huh? I might know a few. Ethan turned to Leo, adopting a serious expression that made the boy giggle. But I need to warn you. They might be too scary for your mom. Oh, please. I've seen my fair share of horror movies. Maya shot back, crossing her arms in playful defiance while trying to suppress a smile. The reality was that she often hid behind pillows, a terrified mess when it came to scary stories. Challenge accepted, Ethan said, leaning back with a grin that made her stomach flutter. Okay, gather round. Once upon a time, in the depths of Cedar Grove, there lived a ghost who... As Ethan spun the tale, Maya felt herself drifting, captivated not just by his storytelling but by the way he engaged both her and Leo. His voice took on a rich, velvety quality, drawing her in. She caught small glimpses of vulnerability in him, moments where he paused, searching for the right words, revealing layers of who he was beneath the facade of confidence. I can't believe you just made that up on the spot, Maya exclaimed when he finished his story. You should write a book. Ethan chuckled, a hint of embarrassment coloring his cheeks. Maybe I'll take that up as a side gig, he replied, his eyes twinkling with mischief. Then we can go on book tours and you can read to kids in schools, Leo added, his voice bubbling with excitement. Maya felt a pang of longing at the thought. To him, the idea of a future full of laughter and creativity seemed so simple, yet it felt miles away from her reality. She glanced at Ethan, whose expression reflected a blend of admiration and amusement. The moment felt charged, and she found herself wanting to lean closer, to bridge the gap between them. But the creeping doubts began to swirl again. Was she being foolish? The last time she had let herself feel hope for something more, it had ended in heartbreak. Could she trust herself to navigate this new dynamic with Ethan? Let's make a pact, she suggested, attempting to lighten her mood. If we ever run into a ghost, we run away screaming and leave Leo behind. Yes, I'm so down for that, Leo shouted, jumping to his feet and waving his arms dramatically. I'll just throw marshmallows at them to distract them. Ethan laughed, his voice rich and soothing. That's one way to go about it. Just make sure you save a few for your mom. Maya couldn't help but smile at the camaraderie between the two. The warmth in her chest spread, battling against the chill of her insecurities. She watched Ethan as he focused on Leo, recalling how he had engaged with her son since they'd met, always making him laugh, always encouraging. But just as the warmth of the moment enveloped her, she caught a glimpse of Ethan's phone glowing in the shadows of their campsite. A text message, she realized, and suddenly, a rush of anxiety coursed through her. Was it someone important? A business partner? A girlfriend? Maya, you okay? Ethan's voice broke through her spiraling thoughts, the genuine concern evident in his eyes. Yeah, just... She hesitated, unsure of how to articulate the turmoil brewing inside her. I was just thinking how nice this is. Me too. He leaned closer, his voice dropping to a soft murmur. You've made this trip memorable. I didn't expect to enjoy myself so much. The sincerity in his tone sent a shiver down her spine, and she could feel her heart quicken. Same here, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. It's nice to laugh after everything. Everything, he echoed, tilting his head slightly, his gaze probing but gentle. What do you mean? Maya swallowed, her mind racing. She hesitated to divulge too much, afraid of scaring him away or appearing vulnerable. I just mean, life can be overwhelming sometimes, but you've made it easier. Ethan paused, a thoughtful frown creasing his forehead. If I've done anything to help, I'm glad. It's easy to forget how to have fun when life gets serious. For a moment, they shared an unspoken understanding, a connection rooted in the complexities of adulthood. And just as Maya felt herself leaning closer, intoxicated by the chemistry brewing between them, Leo interrupted again. "Can we go look for constellations now?" he asked, his excitement palpable. "Sure. Let me grab my phone for the stargazing app," Ethan said, momentarily breaking the mood. As he reached into his bag, Maya felt the distance between them stretch, the moment slipping away. When Ethan returned, he pointed the phone toward the sky. "See that cluster of stars? That's Orion the Hunter. You can follow the belt up to find a few more constellations." Maya felt a pang of disappointment at the interruption, but watched as Leo leaned in, captivated by the wonders above. "Wow! Can we see the Big Dipper?" Leo asked, his voice filled with awe. "Absolutely. It's right over there." Ethan gestured, and Maya allowed herself to bask in their shared excitement. But the nagging feeling returned, a silent whisper that questioned the night's magic. She felt an overwhelming urge to let him in on her world, but the weight of mistrust lingered in her heart. Would he understand her fears, or would he see her as too complicated? As the night deepened, laughter echoed in the clearing, but underneath it all lay an undercurrent of tension. Maya caught Ethan glancing at her, his expression unreadable. Was it curiosity or something more? She felt the longing to reach out, to touch his arm, or allow their fingers to brush against each other, but the anxiety held her back. "Okay, time to find the North Star," Ethan said cheerfully, moving closer to Leo, who was bubbling with enthusiasm. Maya watched them, her heart swelling with both warmth and apprehension. Was this a momentary escape, or the beginning of something deeper? She wanted to believe in the connection they shared, but the memories of heartache haunted her thoughts. As they settled into their sleeping bags, the shadows of the trees danced around them, a canopy of mystery and potential. Maya felt Ethan's gaze on her, and in that moment she decided to let go of the defensiveness that had kept her safe for so long. "Ethan," she whispered, drawing his attention. "Yeah." He turned, his blue eyes shimmering under the starlight. "Thank you for tonight. You really made it special for us." "Of course. I'm glad I could be a part of it," he replied, his voice softening. "You deserve it, you know." Maya felt the warmth of his words wash over her, and for the first time in a long while, she let herself believe in the possibility of more. More laughter, more warmth, and perhaps a chance at healing. The night was alive with promise, and as the stars twinkled above, she knew the journey was just beginning. As the night deepened, a blanket of stars twinkled above, casting a soft glow that enveloped the campsite. The crackling fire danced like it had a mind of its own, illuminating the faces of Maya, Leo, and Ethan. Maya shifted in her sleeping bag, acutely aware of Ethan's presence beside her. He was leaning against a nearby tree, his silhouette framed by the flickering flames, a perfect blend of rugged charm and confidence. As Leo's excitement waned and sleep began to creep in, Maya seized the moment of quiet contemplation. "It's beautiful out here," she murmured, gazing up at the vast expanse of stars. "I can't remember the last time I took a moment to just breathe and look at the sky like this." Ethan turned to her, his expression softening in the firelight. "Isn't it? The city lights can't compare to this view." She nodded, feeling the weight of the world lift ever so slightly. "Life just gets so busy, you know. Between work and taking care of Leo, I often forget to pause and appreciate the little things." He leaned closer, intrigued. "What do you do for work?" "I'm a graphic designer," she replied, a hint of pride creeping into her voice. "I love creating things, but deadlines can be stressful. I often feel like I'm juggling too many balls in the air." "Sounds like you have a lot on your plate," Ethan said, his tone sympathetic. "But it's good that you're here now, finding some balance. It's essential, especially for a single mom." A flicker of warmth ignited within her. His acknowledgement felt validating. "It is," I realized I need to let Leo experience more. He deserves adventures, even if it means stepping out of my comfort zone. Quick question, Ethan said, a playful glint in his eyes. What's your idea of an adventure? Maya considered his question carefully. I would say anything that pushes me out of my routine, like this camping trip. It's a little scary, but so rewarding. He tilted his head, his gaze piercing yet inviting. What's scarier? Camping or dating again? Caught off guard, Maya felt her heart race. She wanted to crack a joke or deflect the question, but the sincerity in his voice compelled her to answer honestly. Honestly? Both are a bit terrifying. Why? His interest was genuine and she felt exposed, yet oddly safe under the stars. Because I've been hurt before, she confessed, a shadow passing over her face. It's hard to trust again, especially when I'm responsible for Leo. I can't afford to make the wrong choice. Ethan seemed to absorb her words. A thoughtful silence enveloped them. I get that. Trust is a fragile thing. But sometimes it's worth the risk. She looked at him, the challenge in his eyes igniting a flicker of hope mingled with doubt. You make it sound simple. It's not, he admitted, his gaze steady. It's complicated, but it can also lead to something beautiful. Maya felt her breath catch, and she could almost hear her heart thumping loudly in the stillness. Was he subtly hinting at something? She hesitated, unsure if she should delve deeper into their connection or retreat to the safety of light banter. Okay, Mr. Philosopher, she replied, trying to keep the mood light. What's your idea of a beautiful risk? Ethan grinned, clearly enjoying the back and forth. Traveling without a plan. You never know what you'll discover. I can see that, she said, a smile creeping onto her face. But I have to ask, what's a billionaire like you doing in a place like this? Isn't there a yacht somewhere waiting for you? He chuckled, but there was a hint of something more, vulnerability perhaps. I like getting away from it all sometimes. The noise, the expectations. Here it's just me and the stars. Maya felt her heart flutter again, but the whispering doubts returned. Could someone like him really want to connect with her? She was a single mom on a camping trip, while he was a successful billionaire. The disparity felt overwhelming. Leo is lucky to have you as a mom, he said, breaking into her thoughts. You seem to care deeply about him. Thank you, she replied, touched by his words. I try my best. Sometimes I worry I'm not doing enough. From what I've seen, you're doing just fine. He smiled, and for a moment, the world outside their little bubble faded away. But then, just as quickly, a shadow crossed his expression, and Maya could sense the shift in the air. Hey, I'm sorry if I've been too forward, he said, suddenly serious. It's just, I like talking to you. Maya felt a rush of warmth at his confession. I like talking to you too. It's refreshing. Can I ask you something? He said, his voice lowering. Do you think there's a chance for someone like me in your life? Or am I just a fun camping distraction? She hesitated, her heart racing as a wave of fear washed over her. I don't know. I mean, She struggled to find the right words. You're great. But I'm not sure I'm ready for anything serious. Serious? He echoed, his expression unreadable. I didn't mean to put any pressure on you. I like spending time with you, and I thought you felt the same way. I do, Maya blurted out, surprised by her own enthusiasm. I just don't want to hurt Leo or dive into something that I'm not sure about. Ethan nodded, his gaze thoughtful. That's fair. I can respect where you're coming from. But just so you know, I'm not looking to rush anything either. I like this, whatever this is. A moment of understanding passed between them, the tension shifting from anxiety to a tentative hopefulness. Okay, Maya said softly, her heart fluttering. Let's just see where this goes then. Sounds like a plan, he replied, a relieved smile breaking across his face. But just as Maya felt the warmth of possibility blossom within her, Leah's voice interrupted their moment. Are you two talking about ghosts again? Maya chuckled, grateful for the interruption. Something like that, buddy. You know, just grown-up stuff. Boring, Leo exclaimed, dramatically rolling his eyes. Let's tell more ghost stories. As he enthusiastically jumped back into the storytelling mode, Maya exchanged a knowing smile with Ethan. The connection they had forged felt fragile yet vibrant, hanging in the balance as they navigated the complexities of their lives. The evening wore on, laughter and tales weaving through the night air. But Maya couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty. Their conversations oscillated between playful banter and deeper connections, revealing layers of their personalities that intrigued her. When Leo finally settled down, nestled safely between them in his sleeping bag, Maya felt her heart swell with affection for both of the boys in her life. The night felt alive with unspoken promises, and she dared to dream of what tomorrow might bring. As she closed her eyes, she let the warmth of Ethan's presence envelop her, a tentative reassurance that perhaps, just perhaps, she could open her heart again. The stars twinkled overhead, and for the first time in a long time, Maya felt the weight of her worries lift, replaced by a glimmer of hope and the thrill of new beginnings. As the first rays of dawn filtered through the trees, Maya stirred in her sleeping bag, feeling the cool air wrap around her like a whisper. Glancing over at Leo, who was still peacefully asleep, she allowed herself a moment to relish the simplicity of the morning. The campfire had diminished to glowing embers, casting a faint light over the campsite, while the sounds of chirping birds began to fill the air. Maya stretched, her body stiff from the uneven ground, but the ache was a small price to pay for the joy of last night's adventures. "Morning, sleepyhead," came Ethan's voice, cutting through the tranquility. He was standing by the dying embers, his silhouette framed by the rising sun, a mug of steaming coffee in hand. "Did you sleep well?" she asked, rubbing at her eyes and pushing her hair back. "Like a log, thanks. This is way better than a 5-star hotel," he grinned, taking a sip of his coffee. "You should try it." She laughed softly, the sound echoing in the stillness of the forest. "I'm not sure my back would agree." Ethan chuckled, walking closer as he offered her a mug of coffee. "Here, I made you some. It's terrible, but at least it's hot." Maya took the cup, their fingers brushing against each other, sending a flutter of warmth through her. "Thanks. I'll take it. At least it's better than instant coffee." "True. Instant coffee should be classified as a crime," he replied, a playful smirk dancing on his lips. Maya raised an eyebrow, amused. "A little dramatic, don't you think?" "Not at all. I'm passionate about coffee," he declared, feigning seriousness. She couldn't help but laugh. The lightness of their exchanges made her feel at ease, yet the remnants of her doubts lingered in the corners of her mind. Was she ready for this? For him? "Mom, can we go swimming?" Leo's voice broke through her thoughts, his eyes sparkling with excitement as he sat up, tousled hair framing his face. "Women already?" Maya asked, trying to hide her surprise. "Yeah, look, the sun is shining," he exclaimed, bouncing on his knees. Ethan leaned closer to Maya, lowering his voice conspiratorially. "What do you think? Should we let him?" Maya pondered for a moment, glancing at the nearby lake from their campsite. "I suppose it could be fun. Just keep an eye out for any unexpected creatures, okay?" Leo's eyes widened with glee. "I will, I promise." With a nod, Maya rose from her sleeping bag, shaking off the remnants of sleep. As the three of them made their way to the lake, Maya felt a pleasant warmth spreading through her, an anticipation for the day ahead. The water glimmered under the morning sun, inviting and refreshing. Maya watched as Leo dashed toward the shore, his laughter ringing out as he splashed into the shallow water. She turned to Ethan, who was still standing a little back, hands in his pockets, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Want to join him?" she asked, tilting her head towards Leo, who was already trying to catch small fish with his bare hands. "Definitely," Ethan said, a wide smile breaking across his face. "Just let me grab my shorts." As he jogged back to the campsite, Maya took a moment to breathe, allowing the fresh scent of pine and water to fill her lungs. Feeling a rush of spontaneity, she stripped off her shirt and joined Leo in the water, laughter bubbling up as she splashed him playfully. "Mom, you're in your clothes," Leo shrieked with glee, trying to dodge the water she flung at him. "Just adding a little adventure," Maya replied, her heart soaring at his joy. When Ethan returned, clad in swim shorts, he stood at the edge of the water, grinning as he watched them. "All right, who wants to race?" he challenged, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "May!" Leo yelled, already bouncing in anticipation. Maya exchanged a glance with Ethan, a shared understanding passing between them. "I have to warn you, though," she said, stepping forward. "I am a formidable opponent." "Oh, I like a challenge," Ethan teased, joining them in the water. "On your mark, get set, go." With that, they plunged into the lake, splashes erupting everywhere. The laughter echoed around them, and for a moment, the world beyond the campsite faded away. Maya felt alive, unshackled by the weight of parental responsibilities, free to simply enjoy the moment. Leo, ever the enthusiastic competitor, reached the far end of the shallow area first, his triumph shouted in gleeful victory. Maya and Ethan followed closely behind, both of them panting as they reached him. "See? I told you I was fast!" Leo beamed, chest puffed out with pride. All right, you win this round," Ethan conceded, ruffling Leo's hair. "But next time, I'll bring my A-game." As they splashed and played in the water, Maya couldn't help but marvel at the easy rapport between Ethan and Leo. Nile. It was a sight she hadn't realized she had missed, a glimpse of a potential future that filled her with both hope and apprehension. Eventually, they all climbed out of the lake, the sun warming their wet skin. Maya reached for a towel, her heart racing as Ethan approached, dripping water and wearing that charming smile she had come to adore. "Could you hand me that towel?" he asked, nodding toward the one draped over a nearby log. "Sure," she said, her voice slightly shaky. As she tossed it to him, their fingers brushed again, the electric jolt between them undeniable. "Thanks," he said, his gaze lingering on hers a moment longer than necessary. Maya felt a warmth creep up her cheeks, her pulse quickening. "So, what's next on the agenda?" she asked, trying to distract herself from the mounting tension. "How about some breakfast?" he suggested, wringing the water from his hair. "I can whip up some eggs and bacon on my portable grill if you're up for it." "Sounds amazing," Leo exclaimed, his stomach growling audibly. "Okay, you two set up the picnic area while I get started," Ethan instructed, moving toward his RV. Maya watched him walk away, a mixture of admiration and confusion swirling within her. Her heart raced with possibilities, yet was tethered by fear. "Mom, can I help him?" Leo asked, his eyes wide with excitement. "Of course. But remember, be careful with the grill, okay?" She ruffled his hair as he dashed off to assist Ethan, who was already unpacking supplies. Maya took a deep breath, grounding herself. She had to keep her head straight, not let her emotions cloud her judgment. Yet every moment spent with Ethan felt like a puzzle piece clicking into place, and it both thrilled and terrified her. As she arranged the picnic blanket, thoughts of her past crept in, the choices she made, the man who had hurt her, the promise she had made to herself to protect Leo above all else. The thought made her pause. But just then, laughter erupted from the grill area, pulling her attention back. Leo and Ethan were engaged in a light-hearted debate about how many eggs to cook, and Maya's heart swelled at the sight. "Okay, how about 5 eggs?" Leo offered earnestly. 5 eggs for one person?" Ethan laughed, shaking his head. "I think we might need more than that to fuel your adventures." Maya couldn't help but smile at their banter, feeling the warmth of connection growing stronger. As she approached them, Ethan turned, the sunlight catching his features, making him look even more handsome. "What do you think? Should we go for 5 eggs or just a dozen?" he asked, his eyes dancing with humor. "Maybe somewhere in between? I don't want to deal with the sugar overload from Leo's marshmallow wish," Maya replied, a playful smile tugging at her lips. Good point, Ethan said, his gaze steady, a hint of something deeper lingering in the air between them. What do you think about this weekend? It seems like we've made quite the team. Yeah. It's been wonderful, Maya admitted, trying to navigate the waves of emotions tumbling inside her. Ethan took a half-step closer, a question dancing in his eyes. You know, I've enjoyed every moment with you two. It's refreshing. You're both. He paused, searching for the right words. You're both so easy to be around. Maya felt heat rise in her cheeks again, a mix of excitement and fear. It's been nice to have someone like you around too, she replied, her voice softer than she intended. Someone like me? He echoed, a teasing lilt in his tone. Is that billionaire talk for... I'm trouble? No, I meant... She stammered, caught off guard by her own words. You just bring a different energy, you know. Good energy or trouble, he teased, stepping even closer, his expression playful yet searching. Good energy, she insisted, heart racing at my heart.